Hello, I'm Yutaka Watanabe, a tax accountant. Welcome to the channel. The tax accountant Nabe solves your money problems. In this second episode, I'll be talking about the peak season of tax audits. Now, for business owners and freelancers, this might be a slightly nerve-wracking topic. Today, we'll uncover the mystery of why tax audits seems to arrive in autumn by exploring what I like to call the tax office secret calendar. Let's take a look behind the scenes together. Have you ever wondered why audits notice always seems to come in the fall? Those letters that arrive almost like a seasonal tradition. Today, I'll give you a clear answer to that big question. Let's start from a familiar moment. The instant you open your mailbox and spot that slightly unsettling envelope, or the moment you receive that unexpected phone call. That's where the story begins. First, let me give you the conclusion up front. It's not your your imagination that audits really do increase in an autumn. There is a clear internal cycle within the tax office that explains this pattern. So, what's the biggest clue to solve this mystery? It's the fact that the tax office operates on a company different calendar from ordinary companies. Most companies start their fiscal year in April, but for the tax office, the new year actually begins in July. This 3 months difference is the starting point of entire story. Among these dates, one is particularly important. July 10th. On this day, large-scale personal transfers take place simultaneously across tax office nationwide. You can think of it as resting the organization's engine and starting fresh with a completely new team, a major annual turning point. Looking at the timeline makes things clearer. The starting point of the entire cycle is this July personal transfer benchmark. New teams are formed and responsibilities are assigned. From there, a long preparation period begins, leading up to autumn. So, do these newly formed teams begin audits immediately in July? Actually, no. The summer period right after the transfers is more like a run-up phase. During this time, new officers carefully analyze their assigned regions and industries, deciding which cases to audit that year. It's a quiet but critically important period. Let me explain this in a bit more detail. What exactly happens during this summer preparation phase? In reality, it involves extremely meticulous and date-driven work. First, past tax return date is thoroughly analyzed. Officers check for unusual loss in revenue, usually low profit margins compared to similar business, and irregular patterns in expense reporting. They carefully identify an anomaly rise in the numbers. In addition, they utilize vast database maintained by the National Tax Agency. This includes payment records from business patterns, information from financial institutions, and real estate registry data. In fact, the tax office already possesses far more information than most people imagine. They compare this information with their filed tax returns to check for consistency. This process is sometimes referred to as a kind of manual monitoring mechanism. So, even though receiving an audit notice may feel sudden, in reality, by the end of the summer, the tax office has already narrowed down its targets with considerable precision. In a sense, by the time you receive an audit notice, the tax office has already formed a fairly clear hypothesis about your case. Now, moving forward in the timeline, the organization resets in July, and preparation progress quietly through August and September. Gradually, targets are defined in anticipation of the autumn season. Once this quiet preparation phase ends, action begins. Autumn is the true peak season for tax audits. When you look at the follow, it all makes sense. Teams are formed in July. Targets are selected during the summer. And then full-scale audits naturally begin in autumn. Everything is simply unfolding according to this schedule. The timeline process further into September through November. This is the busiest period of the year for audits. Plans carefully developed during the summer are executed all at once. But why is there such urgency? Concentrate audits in autumn. To answer this, we need to consider one final and crucial factor. That factor is the tax filing season at the beginning of the year. A massive annual event that serves as an immovable deadline for the tax office. Among tax office staff, there is a shared understanding. We want to finish all ongoing audits before the tax filing season begins. From January onward, the workload becomes extremely intense. Therefore, there is a strong desire to wrap up all audit cases before that period. This mindset accelerates the rush of audits in autumn. In fact, from January to March, the tax filing season is like a battlefield for tax office. A huge volume of tax returns falls in from individual and business nationwide, leaving little capacity for audits. Handling audits simultaneously during this period is realistically very difficult. That's why there is such urgency to complete them beforehand. Now, let's pause for a moment and focus on what this means for you. Knowing this cycle can completely change how you prepare. Instead of panicking when an audit notice arrives in autumn, you can calmly think, this is the usual cycle. That alone can make a significant difference psychologically. More importantly, during the summer, when the tax office is quietly preparing, you should and also be organizing your books and supporting documents. Tax audits are not entirely random events. They follow a predictable cycle. Once you understand this, they become something you can prepare for rather than something to fear. So, what did you think? The tax office secret calendar is quite fascinating, isn't it? From the July personal transfer through the summer preparation phase to the autumn peak season, and finally the tax filing deadline. Understanding this flow can change how you approach tax audits. I hope you found this helpful. Today's topic was the peak season of tax audits. For more information on tax audits, please visit the website of Watanabe Tax Audit Office. I'll continue sharing content focused on money, so please subscribe to the channel. Tax Accountant Nabe solves your money problems. Thank you very much.